Just it was I would say a kind of a sloppy game all in all. Had far too many miscues. We knew going into the game that you better win the ball, and we had the two turnovers that one of them certainly led to points. The other one we busted a protection, and as we're driving in the second half and coughed it up there, and then at the end of the game, that's squarely on me. Just got caught in a situation where we were planning on going for it, and they felt like Brandon could make that field goal, and hindsight's 20/20. I wish I wouldn't have taken the time out because it gave him obviously way too much time to go down and operate. So like I told the team, I mean, that's on me. That can't happen. So it's just we got to wipe this as soon as possible. Like it's a new season now. It's everybody's 0-0. We knew we were going to have to go on the road, so we're going to have to go on the road to Philly, and we'll figure out what day we play, and we'll have a plan in place. But obviously, very disappointed right now.
Could Jordan have gone back?
That timeout on third down before you ran it?
Yeah, you could have. I mean, we thought we had something going, with some of the no huddle stuff, just pounding the ball in there. They were in 3-week. We didn't get the Z to motion across, so we were kind of out leveraged there, and then we lost yardage. So wasn't anticipating that, but that was the circumstance, and that's why I called the timeout, because we went backwards. Because I was planning on going for it right there.
Jordan have gone back in, and you just hold him out as a precaution?
Yeah, he was good to go back in. In fact, we thought that there was a chance that he was going to have to go back in the game because Malik got his thumb hit and he couldn't really feel it. So, but I thought Malik went in there and I thought he played tough, man. I thought he did a lot of good things. He gave guys an opportunity. Malik Heath came through with some big catches. Jaden Reed made some big catches. All those guys competed, and that's why it's just so disappointing, because I felt like our guys went out there and they played hard, and I thought our defense for the most part dominated. But when you give up a return for a touchdown and then they get a short field like they did in that first half, that's just too much.
Before their field goal, it looked like you guys were given the middle of the field there. What's the time limit on when,
Typically, it's 12 seconds. That's usually what we go by. 3rd and 15. I wasn't anticipating them getting a slant for however 20 yards or whatever it was, and they went down. We weren't slow off the pile, and they were able to clock it. And so, all in all, it's bad ball.
An idea of how serious Christian's knee is?
Yeah, I'm not super confident about that right now.
So how do you, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter because of the playoff seeding and all that, but how do you get these guys turned around in a hurry and kind of reset?
Yeah, I think that, that's just the nature of this beast. Is certainly didn't want to go into the playoffs like this, but that's our circumstance. And so we got to be tough-minded and got to be critical and we got to flip the script as soon as possible and move on to the next game. And like I said, it's a whole new season. And if we know we got a tough road in front of us, but I think got one that guys are going to attack for sure.
Matt, you strip away all the crazy stuff that happened today, but the first couple of drives with Jordan when everybody's in the game and you just can't seem to get anything going in the passing game. Just from your observation, what is going wrong with the pass game?
Yeah, it hasn't been good. I mean, credit them. They did a nice job. And it is extremely frustrating right now. So I think that's something that we're going to have to take a deep dive into, and we have been. It's not like it's anything new, but we got to do a better job.
Given the circumstances today, you have a playoff spot locked up no matter what happens. Do you feel like that had any effect on your team's just mental sharpness coming in?
I don't know. I mean, I think everything's fair game right now. I mean, in terms of just all of us. It's a collective, and it always starts with me. And like I said, I'm disappointed that I put our team in that situation at the end of the game because just being indecisive, and you can't do that in those critical moments because it came back and burned us.
Matt, you talked about how Jordan would have been good to go to return. What was the balancing act of deciding whether or not he did return?
Well, that's a great question. It was just once Malik said he was good to go, we felt like that was the route we wanted to go.
Was there any part of you that said, well, maybe put Love back in there and get him going again, heading into the playoffs, just some rhythm in the offense?
Yeah, it definitely crossed my mind. But, I thought, again, I think it's harder to, you start a game, you come out of the game, then go back in the game. Just thought it was, especially with what had transpired with Christian, and we played Josh limitedly, so just went the other route.
Was Watson being active dependent on Romeo?
Yeah, that had a lot to do with it, yeah.
What was Romeo's, was it serious?
No, I think he'll be good. He was in no shape to be able to go today. I mean, he tried, he came in, he tried, but he's got some bug going on.
Matt, the first time you guys played these guys, you were critical of yourself for running that, whatever was the horizontal run to Reed in the red zone, and then it wasn't the same play this time, but you did it again in the red zone. Do you have to scrap that play, just the horizontal?
Not necessarily. I mean, if we make a block, we're in a pretty good shape. I mean, there's a lot of planning that goes into it. It's something we saw on tape. And obviously, when it doesn't work out, you can say that about a lot of plays throughout the course of a game. But yeah, it's disappointing, and I felt like we were getting pretty good movement too. Like with our downhill runs, those were pretty effective. That's why we called one towards the end of the game, and just didn't get the right communication into the guys.
Did the script for Josh pretty much go according to plan, pull him early second quarter like you did?
Well, I wouldn't say anything went according to plan today. So the whole plan was to try to get up, and pull guys, but that it never happened.
So how do you get what happened on that punt? How do you avoid a replay of that?
Well, it was a good scheme by them. They had the punter or the returner on one side. We had the left punt, and they got us. So kudos to them.
Is there a way to avoid that happening? There's going to be some sort of communication, but how do you communicate?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think it goes down to, making sure hopefully we can talk. We knew, first of all, going into the game that anything could come our way, in terms of whether it was on teams, offense or defense, a team coming in here, end of the season, probably going to throw everything at you, and they got us on that one. It was a deceptive that worked. So I think we got to do it. We just got to get back at it. We got to obviously coach it much better to not allow something like that to happen.
This is a different kind of week because games outside this game influence you guys. At any point, were you able to get a score update across the league at all?
Yeah, I was informed of what was going on. So, and that game was tight as it could be. So, I mean, obviously, knowing that, how tight it was, and I know the outcome, that Washington pulled it out, correct? Obviously didn't have much bearing, the fact that they won, but I still think for us as a team, for the psyche, I mean, certainly as the game got tight at the end, we were trying to win the game.
It's not like you were in the dark during the game. You knew that game was down.
Correct. Yeah.
Matt, is there any doubt that Jordan would play next week? Do you feel like
Yeah, I think he's going to be good.
Feel just as a whole about your team's psyche and how they're playing going into Philly next weekend?
Well, I think there's elements that are up to the standard, and then there's certainly some things that aren't going quite as smoothly. But bottom line is we got to, like I said, it's 0-0 from here on out, and we got to try to do the things that we feel like we can have some success with, and really lean into that. And we know it's going to be a great challenge. Philly's a hell of a team, and they do it really in every phase of the game, offensively, defensively, and on special teams. So it's not an easy environment to play, but we had a hell of a game with them week 1, and unfortunately we're on the wrong side of that. But we just got to get back at the drawing board and approach the week, and like I said, flush this game as quickly as possible and move on.
More, please.
So Matt, aside from the X's and O's of getting things fixed, how do you deal with your team's psyche? You were rolling pretty good last year going into the postseason. You could feel the momentum. What's your approach as a coach to get?
Yeah, I think it's like I said. I think the guys had some strong words in the locker room. I think their mind will be in the right place, and it all starts with our energy, how we attack it, and coming into the building. And we said this way back when during training camp. It's standards over feelings, and there's a standard that we have to approach each day with, and you got to come in with that energy and just attack it and. Put your best foot forward, because this is like March Madness from here on out. I mean, anything can happen, and you got to be sharp, and you got to be detailed. And, I don't think anybody has to do anything out of the ordinary, any superhuman effort. It's just guys got to be dialed in and doing their responsibility. We always talk about doing your 1/11th, and it's so true in these playoff games because the margins are thin enough in this league as it is. I mean, each week it can go either way. But I would say specifically with the playoffs, when it comes to that, the energy, you got to stay focused. You got to stay dialed in. You got to play it, like truly play each play as if it were your last. And that's the approach that we got to take. And we got to have a great week of preparation, no doubt about it. Guys got to rest up. We got to recover. Some guys are pretty beat up right now, and who knows when we play. So that could affect things as well. But just everybody has to handle their business, take care of what they need to take care of, and we got to go, put our best foot forward.
You'll get lost in this, but McManus, how great a weapon he is.
Yeah, he's been huge. Like I said, I mean, if I would have had no thought about him kicking that, what was it, 55? I wouldn't have called the timeout. But obviously it was a little hesitant there, and that's why I got to be better, more on the same page with exactly where we were, and because then I don't think the result is what it is right now.
Point play? Did you like the play? And then
Yeah, we knew they were going to be in red too, and that's exactly what they were. We tried to set Jaden Reed right over the ball before the backside backer. We flushed it for strong before the backside backer got there, and there was a hole there for him, but it didn't work out.
his hand?
Yeah. I think his hand got hit on the play before. Or on that bomb to Malik Heath. And Malik, I can't say enough of great things about him, just to be in that moment, to make that type of catch. It just shows you how much depth we have at that position, because there's been games when he hasn't dressed this year, and hopefully that gives him and us a lot of confidence moving forward.
Thank you,
You guys have anything else? Good? All right, thanks, guys.
So Jordan, did you get hit in the helmet on the elbow? Was it like your funny bone or?
Yeah, I landed on it on the ground, I think. And yeah, just kind of pretty much lost all feeling in my hand and pretty much just went numb.
Like you were taking some practice throws on the sideline there late in the fourth quarter. Just how did you feel?
Yeah, same thing after the halftime. You know, I came back, was trying to get some throws, and same thing, kind of the outside my hand, pinky, really couldn't feel it, was pretty numb. And, you know, we just made a decision to hold me back. And then, yeah, I mean, in the fourth, later on, Malik, you know, had hit his hand and something happened there. So I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to finish it out there. So we were trying to get warmed up again and throw.
How does it feel right now? Is it still numb?
About the same.
What's your chances
Did
for
they indicate
Philadelphia?
Yes.
Did they, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what Bill said, but did they indicate to you that that's gonna go away, you know?
They said it should. They did. I'm not sure when, but I think it's feeling better.
So Jordan, if this happens in a win or go home game, I assume you're staying out there or at least trying to get back into the game, or what's your approach if the circumstances are different?
Yeah, I mean, by the time I can start feeling my hand again, I would definitely be trying to get out there. You know, I think it just comes down to if I can throw or not, grip the ball, things like that. So, you know, once some feelings start to come back, I would try and push it for sure.
Matt was just saying that some guys in the locker room had some strong words. What do you just get the sense of the vibe around this team after this finished the regular season going into Philly?
A disappointing loss for sure. You know, I think everybody in the locker room feels that. And it's obviously not the note we wanted to end on with loss to Vikings and then turn around and a loss here. But, you know, it's the reality of our situation. You know, we got to find a way to improve this week, get better, and look forward to seeing Philly. But it's a disappointing finish, disappointing loss to end that game right there. But it's the same thing. You know, there's a lot of areas that we can clean up and we got to be better at. And, you know, the same kind of messages going through that locker room is, you know, we got to go out there and make these plays and execute, and we just have to be better.
Follow up on that. A year ago, you had won the final three going into the playoffs. Jason talked to Coach a few minutes ago about momentum, totally different. How do you prepare this time as opposed to what you were doing a year ago?
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, it is kind of the mindset of it's a new season. You know, we're going to playoffs. We got to kind of flush the season and have a clean slate. We're going in 0-0, and as we know, anything can happen in the playoffs. You know, it's win or go home. So, you know, obviously there's a lot of things we have to clean up and be better at, but it's the same message. You know, obviously we're not going in with momentum, but who cares? You know, we got to find a way to get better and go attack this week. And obviously we're going to be playing some good teams here in the playoffs, and we got to find a way to go win.
Your reaction to what happened to Christian, and assuming he is out for a while, just how do you kind of work around that going into the postseason?
Yeah, you know, that's a tough one. Obviously, I'm not sure, you know, the exact circumstances, but just seeing it on the field, him going down, non-contact like that, it's tough. It's very tough, and especially Christian trying to bounce back from what he's been dealing with, and to be able to go out there and have that happen, it's tough, and I feel for Christian. But at the same time, it's that same mindset we've talked about before. You know, it's next man up. So other guys are going to have to step up and play a huge role. But, like I've said before, we have a deep receiver room, and you know, it was good to see guys step up. Malik have that big time catch right there at the end. So that's what it's going to be. Guys are going to have to step up, make plays, but we'll see. But you know, didn't look good on the field for Christian.
Jordan, what were you seeing in the first couple of series before you got hurt from the Bears defensively? How were they playing you?
Yeah, I mean, they weren't doing a whole lot of crazy. I feel like it was a lot of cover three, a lot of one high, and we just weren't making enough plays, weren't completing passes, and being able to stay on the field right there. But they weren't doing anything crazy.
Jordan, with the way the past game was against the Vikings and the way it was before you left today, how do you guys were humming pretty good at one point. Now it feels like the last 2 weeks it's not. How do you get that going again?
Yeah, it's definitely been a little stagnant, and it just feels like we're just missing right now. Missing on some of these ops that obviously before we're hitting on. So, like I've said before, it's not like we're far off. It's not like everything we're running is just not working. You know, stuff's there, and we just got to go out there and make plays. I got to be great, like I said, with accuracy, ball placement, and everything. So, you know, I think it's a lot of stuff that we'll clean up. You know, it's I definitely don't think it's a problem, but it's stuff that, you know, if this was a playoff game, we'd be going home right now. So we got to find a way to, you know, make those plays, execute, and stay on the field as offense, put up more points than we did tonight. But, yeah, we got to find ways to just be better because, like we said in the locker room, this playoff game, you know, we're going home. So just not good enough.
So how do you find those ways? It's, you know, you guys have been at it since August. Now we're going into January. It's been a long time. How do you get it figured out over the course of 7 days?
Yeah, we just got to get back to what we do. Get back to the basics and the fundamentals and be crisp, you know. As we go through the week, be dialed in and locked into all the little details and, you know, we can't let anything slip. So it just comes down to that. I mean, that's where you start and throughout the week, and then you got to go out there and just make those plays. And, you know, like I said, we're not far off. We just got to hit.
Jordan, you say you have to be great with accuracy, ball placement, all that stuff. What do you feel you are right now?
I feel like it's inconsistent.
Two more. Jordan, your personality isn't like super rah-rah all the time. Is that fair to say? So how do you approach this week to get the guys kind of not just focused, but kind of rally the troops? Kind of like they're obviously down and angry that this went the way it did.
Yeah, no, I think I mean you lose a game like this. I don't really think you need a lot of motivation. I think guys are going to be fired up. And obviously, we talked about it in the locker room, like I just said before. This is playoffs, we're going home. So if we want to be feeling that, we'll do nothing, and we'll just go through the week. But, you know, if we want to, you know, talk about what we've been talking about all season of having a chance to win a Super Bowl and, you know, make a run in the playoffs, you know, we're going to dial in and try and look at the film and figure out what we need to clean up and really take that deep dive and just figure it out and be more consistent, hone in on all the details. But no, I don't think that this group, this locker room, you know, we've said some things today after this game, but guys are going to be ready. You know, I have no doubt about that. Guys will be fired up, and this loss will be motivated enough. But like we talked about, you know, everything that we want is still out in front of us. You know, the Super Bowl still out in front of us. We got to go win games and win in advance, but, you know, we kind of can control our destiny, and we just got to be great and come out here, have a good game plan for Philly, and go out there and play a good game.
What y'all did last year as a 7th seed going on the road, what you did in Dallas, are these two totally different situations because of the momentum you had last year that you don't really have going in?
No, I mean, last year we didn't do anything special. You know, we found a way late in the season to get out there and win games that we needed to win to get in the playoffs, and then we went down there in Dallas and like I said, we didn't do anything special. We did we did what we kind of done all season, and we just went out there and made plays. We made a lot of plays and didn't miss on a lot of plays, I'd say. And that's where we got to be. We got to be able to, you know, bounce off each other, offense, defense, and special teams. And we just didn't do that today. But yeah, we didn't do anything special. So it's just finding those details. Everybody doing their 1/11th, not trying to, you know, do anything special or above and beyond. Just go out there and do your job, and we'll be good.
How do you overcome the loss of Christian? You obviously didn't have him last week or this week, and he obviously brings something special to what you guys do.
Yeah, I mean, Christian is a phenomenal player, so other guys will have to step up, you know, and fill that void, which I'm confident that guys in that receiver room will be just fine doing that. But, yeah, it's a tough loss.
Jordan, a whole season has happened
Last one.
between now and when you guys played Philadelphia the last time. Their defense is really good. Obviously, you guys have changed quite a bit from September to now. What gives you confidence that you guys will kind of make more of those missed opportunities than you had when you played them in Brazil?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be two good teams, like you said. We played them week 1, so it's been a while since we've seen them. But we'll dive into the tape and everything this week and have a good game plan. But two good teams facing each other. You know, we got to go in an away environment and go win a game. So, I'm confident in this team. That we'll be able to do that. But we just got to go out there and execute and make plays in that game. And that's how you win playoff games is make those plays and don't miss. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.